was Friday, October 28th, and we've got a deer about 115 yards in front of us, so I'm going to keep this relatively short, but we're still down on the river bottom. We're back on this small peninsula. We've just moved to the other side of it. We're on the south side of it. The wind is out of the northeast. So we came in here this morning, did a hanging hunt, and we're right off the river. This is right around where we saw Kelce yesterday morning. Messing around with the does out in the timber right in front of us. I'm hoping he's still hanging out in this area. It's about 32 degrees, and they say northeast, but it's essentially no wind, so we're hunting thermals this morning. Pressure's really high. It feels nice out, so fingers crossed Kelce does what he did yesterday. Have him across on the 28. That's maybe where I'm thinking of it. He's a 9. And his G2s are kind of forward on his beams. He's actually got a decent body on him. Should put a camera on that screen. See, there's 2 deer up on the ridge. You can see their reflection in the water, too. Well, it's about 11 o'clock. And the wind's starting to switch back to southeast. We're gonna go ahead and get packed up and get out of here. Overall, it was a really nice morning sit. We ended up having that one nice 3-year-old come and work that scrape, and had a number of other antlerless deer working around in here, and then was quiet for an hour and a half or so, 2 hours, and then we had it was like 10 or 12 does and fawns work down to the river, and a bunch of them crossed. I mean, 10:30 in the morning, I could see 10 antler's deer at one time, but no bucks to pester them. So I'm not sure yet where we're going to go this afternoon, but I'm going to try to stay on Kelce. This wind is tough. It's just, I don't have a lot of good spots to hunt this wind, so we may go hunt another spot and wait for the right conditions. In case I get chipped. Doesn't seem like that's possible tonight, but got a little spike working down the field edge. We have made the move for the afternoon hunt across the river from where we're hunting this morning. This is that 28-acre piece I picked up last year. The wind is basically straight out of the east, but it's doing a few southerly kicks and a few northerly kicks, and this blind sets up perfect for any east. And I just thought I'd give that area a break. I don't want to hunt it on a marginal wind. Right now it's 62 degrees. It's really warmed up, and end up putting too much pressure on Kelce. So we decided to come over here, and we're hunting over this corn plot. The main deer I'd like to lay eyes on here is that buck we call Rocky. I filmed him twice last year. Real heavy deer. He looks great this year. I'd like to see what he looks like in person. He, I would say he's at least a 5-year-old this year. There's another good buck that we filmed last year that looked like a 3-year-old 10 last year. We had him come under us November 7th. And he looks pretty good too. He's a big 4-year-old. So it'd be nice to lay eyes on him, see what he looks like. But I don't think, if I get a chip shot at a doe, I'll probably take it. I've got 2 tags to use on this farm, and it's hot, and I don't expect crazy good movement, so I think if I get a chance, I'll probably take a doe. But Rye also has his bow, and that buck we call Daggers. You know, we had a really close encounter with him yesterday morning, and he's been on this side of the river a lot more than the other side of the river. So Rye's got his bow, and he says if he shows back up, he's gonna take a shot. I don't know where to come tomorrow morning with Knox and Ivy after the hunt. I was wondering if there were any roosters on this piece. Figured there was some, but that is cool. Yes, sir. That is a granny. And that's a button buck on the right. Today's the highest pressure, right? 30.33. I've got the volumes. I saw you turn it on. I turned this one on.
she's down.
Well, not bad for 4:30. That is an old doe, man. 29 yards. Had a big doe come in. I don't know, what, 30 minutes after we got here, maybe? She just came around the corner of the standing corn, so kind of just popped in the blind. Couple fawns, so I decided to take a shot. She just went down, so. One more closer to our goal.
I see him. Okay. Oh, work, that's great. Okay. Work, that's great. What? Everything feels great. Go meet your buddy. Spiker. It's hard to tell, man. If I saw him this year, I'd say he's a 5, you know. Yeah. But seeing his body last year, it was so small.
Boy, that got exciting for a minute. What a buck. That's a great deer. That's the one I was mentioning in the opening interview that I said there's a good 4-year-old out here that we filmed last year on November 7th, chasing a doe all around this hill. He went onto the neighbor, then he came back that morning and walked right under us at 10 yards. And there were quite a few people that said, you know, no way that deer's 3. I went back and forth last year on him being 3 or 4, and generally if I'm in between on a deer, I just go down. Last year was the first year I owned this place, so if you don't have history with them, so it's sometimes a little bit hard to peg them, you know, the first year you see him. But he had a relatively small body last year. There were just a few photos once he was rutted up that I was like, could he be 4? He made a great jump this year. Started getting pictures of him, I think it was September, wouldn't you say? It wasn't all summer, it was pretty late.
It was done in September.
And maybe in October, but it was pretty late, the first pictures we got of him. And recognized him right away. He added splits and just frame got bigger. You know, he's an awesome looking deer, but you know, with having deer that are 6 for sure, like Kelce, it's one that seems to make sense to try to see if we can get him to an older age class. So I just looked out the side window here. This is a 2-acre corn plot in the CRP. We could put 10% in food plot. We fenced it, and I didn't have time to take it down, so we just dropped the other side. They're heading out to that cut corn, and so I just looked around through that window, and he's walking up the edge, and he just got on the mowed path that we walked up. He kind of locked up on the Tour V. I've got the Tour V parked down the hill over there, and then he just skirted around by that pond. But it's awesome to lay eyes on him. He's one I really wanted to see what he looked like in person. It'd be awesome to lay eyes on Rocky, or if I can get another doe down, I will. Yeah, that hit the offside shoulder. As you can see, we're back at the house. We got the fresh back straps and loins on the grill. Decided to have some fresh meat. Forgot to mention while I was in the blind, we need help naming this big buck we filmed tonight. He's one we've been struggling to come up with a name with, and so if you guys could chime in with any suggestions, I'd really appreciate it. You guys helped me out a bunch last year with Chubs, so I'm excited to see what you can come up with.